What is up, guys? So today I'll be doing my predictions for the 2017-2018 NBA season playoff for the first round only. I won't be doing the second round, the conference finals and finals. No, I'll probably get all them way off. I always get them wrong every year, but hopefully I have a better chance this year. But I'll tell you how I'll be doing these. So I'll be doing the Western Conference playoff matches first, and then I'll do the Eastern Conference. And how I'm going to talk about them is I'm going to talk about some people I think that are going to step up, some people are going to step up their games, and I'll give you some averages that I think will happen. Something might sound crazy to you, but then again, this is my personal opinion, so if you don't agree with anything I say, then we'll just deal with it. So with that underway, we're going to start this video right now. Okay, so the first playoff matchup we'll be talking about is probably one of the easiest ones to predict. It is going to be the Houston Rockets versus the Minnesota Timberwolves, 1 seed versus 8 seed. I have the Rockets sweeping the Minnesota Timberwolves, which I'm pretty sure everyone else predicted too, unless they're like a T-Wolves fan. But the guys I think will be stepping up, one of the guys is Chris Paul. I think Chris Paul will step up in the series, and I know you guys are asking, Chris Paul, he's already one of the top 5, top 10 point guards in the NBA. How could he step up? He's to step up even more. He's going to be superstar, man. Prime. He'll look like he'll be in his prime with these numbers. He'll have averages of 26 points, 6 rebounds, and 11 assists. I really think Chris Paul could do that. I think it could be amazing in this series because Timberwolves, they're not bad, but they're not great compared to the Rockets. So another guy I think that will step up in this series is Nene. I think he'll have a nice series for himself. He'll have 9 points, 8 rebounds. Nice piece off the bench for them. And also 1 block for Nene. And my bad, guys, I forgot to talk about one thing. I think Chris Paul could also average 3 steals along with the other stats I mentioned for him. So those are the guys that I think will step up for the Rockets in this series. So let's go on to the next playoff matchup. For the next playoff matchup, we'll be talking about the Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Utah Jazz. And I think it's going to be a competitive series. So I think that this series will go to 6 games, with the Oklahoma City Thunder beating the Utah Jazz 4-2. And to be honest, I think the big 3 for the Oklahoma City Thunder is going to step up huge in this series. They're all going to post great stats for them. So if you want to know what I'm talking about, I'll tell you right now, this is what I think Russell Westbrook will average this series. I don't know about the whole playoffs, but I think this series is what he'll average. He'll average 27 points, 12 rebounds, 11 assists, and 3 steals a game. I think it could be nothing short of amazing. Just similar to Chris Paul, what I said, except even better. This is his second straight season averaging a triple-double, but this is even better than his regular season numbers. And I think Paul George will step up to just kind of like his Indiana Pacer day numbers, with averages of 27 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists. And for Carmelo Anthony, he's had a disappointing season for the Thunder. Some of that's maybe due to age or him being the number 3 option, or maybe even lower on the team. I think Carmelo this series will come back to his former self. He'll average 21 points and 6 rebounds a game. So yeah, I think the big 3 will step up. Not meaning that other guys won't show up, but big 3 are definitely going to show up this series, in my opinion. So on to the next matchup. So the next matchup is going to be the Portland Trailblazers versus the New Orleans Pelicans. I have the Trailblazers defeating the Pelicans in 6 games, 4-2. That doesn't mean it'll not be a competitive series, because it will be for sure. But I think the Trailblazers will end up winning, barring a serious injury. So I believe Damian Lillard could step up big time with an average of 28 points a game. I also believe CJ McCollum will step up as well. He'll be pretty good in this series. He'll average 25 points and 8 assists a game. And I also think Ed Davis coming off the bench could be huge for them. I think he could average 11 rebounds. He'll be a nice presence defensively for the Trailblazers this series. And also believe Shabazz Napier coming off the bench will also be huge for them. I think he could average 12 points, 4 assists, and 2 steals a game. And the other guy I believe could step up for the Trailblazers is Evan Turner. Yeah, he's been disappointing for him ever since they signed him to that huge contract, but I believe he could be pretty good in this series. I think he could average 12 points and 4 assists coming off the bench, or maybe even starting. Who knows? But that is my prediction for the series, so on to the next match. Alright, so this is the last matchup in the Western Conference for the first round, but it will be the Golden State Warriors versus the San Antonio Spurs. And I have the Warriors sweeping the San Antonio Spurs, just like most other people do. But I can explain, though, that, Kawhi is going to be injured, their best player. He's been out for most of this season. And even though Curry will be out, they still have Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green. They have all those guys, and Klay Cook's been stepping up for them. So I'll tell you the guys I think are going to step up in this series. I believe that Klay Thompson could average 25 points, 1 steal, and 1 block this series. I believe he could step up big time for the Warriors. And I also believe that Draymond Green will step up with 8 rebounds and 10 assists. So yeah, nothing else really to say about the series. Warriors will sweep him and end up going to the second round of the playoffs, even with Stephen Curry injured. So let's go on to the next series. So the first Eastern Conference matchup will be the Toronto Raptors versus the Washington Wizards. And guys, it's finally time for my first bold playoff prediction, like who's going to win the series. Guys, I believe the Wizards could upset the Raptors in 5 games. I believe they could defeat them 4-1. And the guys that will step up for them, it's going to be guys you would have least expected. I believe that Marcin Gortat could step up and have a good series. I believe he could average 9 points and 9 rebounds this series. And I also believe that coming off the bench, Thomas Satoransky will step up with 9 points and 7 assists. And I also believe Mike Scott coming off the bench could step up with 11 points and 5 rebounds. So the role players will be stepping up here. Not John Wall and Bradley Beal. The role players will play a huge part in them beating the Raptors in 5 games, in my opinion. So we'll see if that actually happens. And on to the next playoff match. The next playoff matchup will be the Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Indiana Pacers. I have the Cavaliers defeating the Pacers in 5 games, 4-1. I believe Indiana could beat them in a blowout game once, maybe at Indiana, Game 3 or Game 4, but I think the Cavaliers will end up beating them in 5 games. LeBron's going to have an amazing series, nearly averaging a triple-double with 28 points, 10 rebounds, and 9 assists. And I also believe Jordan Clarkson will step up. He's just getting used to the system. I believe he could average 18 points and 4 assists a game. I also believe Rodney Hood could step up with 16 points and 5 assists per game. Jeff Green, I believe, could really step up. I believe he could average 16 points a game. And I also believe, lastly, that Tristan Thompson, through all his controversy with Khloe Kardashian and all that, I believe he could still be a defensive presence with averages of 8 rebounds a game. So on to the next playoff matchup. So the next matchup will be the Philadelphia 76ers versus the Miami Heat. And this is another bold prediction by me. I believe the Miami Heat could upset the 76ers in a grueling 7-game series. The 76ers are a really young and youthful team. They have a lot of young guys that have never had playoff experience before. So I believe the Heat are a veteran team with one of the best coaches in the NBA right now, Eric Spoelstra. I believe they could just kind of expose the 76ers for what they are, a young team for the future. And if guys I think will step up for the Heat are Hassan Whiteside, even though he's had a really disappointing year, probably because of limited minutes and injuries. But I believe Hassan Whiteside will have a great series with averages of 17 points, 11 rebounds, and 3 blocks a game. And I believe all-star point guard Goran Dragic will step up with 17 points, 4 rebounds, and 6 assists. And you can't forget about Dwayne Wade, man. You know, they signed him back after the Cavaliers cut him. Well, they traded him to there for the second-round pick. And Dwayne Wade will step up with 15 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 steals a night. And coming off the bench, or maybe even starting, Josh Richardson will step up with 14 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists. James Johnson, man, you can't forget about him. He will step up with 14 points and 1 steal a game. And the rookie from Kentucky, if he plays it all, I think he'll step up with 9 points and 7 rebounds a night. So, on to the final playoff matchup in the Eastern Conference and for the first round of the NBA. So for the final playoff matchup, it is going to be the Boston Celtics versus the Milwaukee Bucks. This is an easy series to predict in my opinion. I have the Boston Celtics sweeping the Milwaukee Bucks. And some people I think will step up in Kyrie Irving's absence is Al Horford. I believe Al Horford could average 14 points and 9 rebounds a game. And I also think in general, the big men on the roster will step up, with Greg Monroe also stepping up with 12 points and 7 rebounds coming off of the bench. So yeah, this is it for my 2018 NBA first round playoff prediction. And if you guys want me to do one for a second round, just write down in the comments below. And thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you all next time.